really sort of sums up not just the Japanese-American story that we have here, but and it's something that can resonate to all Americans across ethnic lines. It's what we've got right here under this floor. What you're seeing here, these are actual artifacts from the different concentration camps where Japanese Americans were interned during World War II for nothing more, they weren't even accused of a crime, they're just being thrown into these prison camps simply because they're of the wrong ethnicity at the wrong time. So these are all the artifacts in different types of camps, and they're resting on dirt from their respective campsites. And the reason I really like this particular one is because these artifacts are all extremely personal. You've got, like right over here, you've got a handmade name plaque that an internee made for his teacher. And when you see artifacts like these, it really sort of makes the story really come to life, because these are not just words on the pages of a textbook. These are things that have been handled by real people. And when you have that sort of personal attachment, when you're able to identify with another human being through something like this, that's when the story really becomes real. When you're able to identify with someone across the decades and sort of understand what they went through and how what their experiences help shape the type of individual that you are today, the type of world we live in today.
Thank you.
A simple photograph of young men during World War II, and you think, well, so what? Well, this symbolized the protests in the prison camps. In this case, can you imagine folks, for instance, of your age, being drafted out of a concentration camp? Now, how ironic is that? One side of the government clearly doesn't trust you, right? And yet another side of the government says, I want you for the U.S. Army to more than likely be wounded or killed in action, defending a country that has your whole family in a concentration camp. So that they're exercising the most fundamental right of their citizenship to protest. Much symbology, and that's the American flag. You say, oh, well, an American flag. Well, a museum artist put it together to represent what happened to this large group of people, in the sense that, well, let's see, you remember the Pledge of Allegiance? The last line of the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag is what? And liberty and justice for all. Except the museum artist put this, and these represent bars where a whole group of people had their rights as Americans just summarily violated. Okay, that's the irony of it. So again, all the artifacts in here, in and of itself, don't mean a whole lot until you understand the context.
If you can see how these had to be made in a very short period of time by probably unskilled labor, and when they actually took it apart, they noticed how the nails were like not put in straight and a lot of things. But if you notice, this wood was young wood, right? And then as time went on, it dried. So you have all these spaces, and you can imagine in Wyoming, I think the first winter that the camps were opened, it averaged 30 degrees below. So you can imagine living in this kind of situation, especially if you're from California or a more temperate area, how difficult that was to get used to that sort of weather.